Hello, guys. Welcome to the first day of notes. I know you guys are going to get video notes 3 times this week, but that's okay. We're going to get through it together. Surface areas of prisms and cylinders. Sweet. So I love surface area and volume and stuff. I think it's really cool. I love doing these, but you guys, I know might get a little annoyed. But let's get started. So let's take a look at a prism here. A prism is pretty much just a three-dimensional shape that's based off of actual like shapes that we know. So here, right, this is a rectangular prism. Um, and so let's go ahead and see the lateral area here. Let's say lateral area. It's going to be my perimeter uh, times my height here. And that's pretty much it. The perimeter times my height is essentially what it's doing. It's just giving me like the area around the prism, right? All of this, right? So if we get the perimeter of this rectangle and then multiply that by height, right? It's kind of like printing a 3D object, like a hollow 3D object, where it does layer by layer. Well, it goes one layer, then it does the other layer a little bit higher, right? And a little bit higher, and eventually you end up covering the entire sides. And that's essentially what it is. And then the surface area is going to be perimeter times height. So essentially the lateral area plus 2b. Now, what is b? Well, b is the base, and we have two of them here and here. So it's going to be the lateral area, the area all around it, plus the base on top and the base at the bottom. So let's go ahead and just label those down here just so we know what they are. So P is my perimeter, H is your height, and then last, B is going to be my base. I don't like the way that B looks, so let's write it again. That wasn't much better. That's okay. And not just base, area of a. Cool. All right. Now for a cylinder is again really cool because when we're looking at the surface area of a cylinder, again, let's take a look at the lateral area. Now, what is the lateral area of this cylinder? Well, think of a soda can. Pretend this is a soda can. That's my hull, right? And then you've got the weird outline, and you got the cap and whatever in there, right? If I were to take the top off and the base off, I'd be left with this hollow cylinder that looks just like this, right? Pretend the cylinder is hollow. What we could do is we could cut this piece right down one of the sides, right? And then when you roll it out, this cylinder ends up becoming a rectangle. It's the same way how you can grab a piece of paper and turn it into a hollow cylinder by just, folding it into itself and creating a cylinder. Hollow cylinder, but a cylinder nonetheless. And so the lateral area here is just going to be essentially just let's again pretend that we turned this into a rectangle, right? If we cut it and turned it into a rectangle, well, that's just the height of the cylinder, and then the circumference of the um, the actual cylinder up here, right? This part here, again, you cut it right there. We flatten it out. So this is the circumference. And then we cut it, actually, we didn't cut it there. We cut it here. And this is our height. So my lateral area for a cylinder again ends up being the same thing. It's just perimeter times h. But remember, perimeter for a circle is going to be the circumference, and the circumference is 2 pi r. So the lateral area of a cylinder is 2 pi r times h. This is the one that we like. Now, how can I remember that circumference is 2 pi r? Well, there's two things, and I know it's not going to be super helpful for some of you, but circumference is 2 pi r. And then we also have area, and that's pi r squared. Now, how do I remember which one is which? I mean, regardless, you have to find one. One of them has the two in front, one of them has the two in the top right corner. The way that I remembered what area was, and you guys might think this is lame, I don't like apple pies. So I used to say apple pie are squared, right? Because they used to say thing like that whenever someone thing was like lame, they were like, "Oh, you're a square," right? And so that's how I would remember apple pies are squared. Area equals pi r squared. And then obviously then the other one it has to be 2 pi r where you just take this to put it in front. Therefore circumference is 2 pi r. And that's how I would remember it. If it helps some of you guys, it helps some of you. But if it doesn't, I'm sorry for making your day a little more lame. Now, the surface area here, again, we're going to take our surface area, and our surface area is going to be our lateral area, which is just pH. And now we're going to do the same exact thing. Now, pretend that we had our caps back onto our can. Well, now we've got two bases. It's the exact same thing as above, but in this case, right, remember, surface area is going to equal 2 pi r times my height. And remember, how did we get that? Well, this is a circumference, so 2 pi r, and then height. And then we're going to add the 2. And then again, we've got now an area of the circle. The area of the circle is this radius here. Or sorry, the area we would find it using the radius of the circle. So this would be 2 pi r squared, right? So pi r squared times 2 because we've got pi r squared up here, pi r squared down here. And so we have two of them. So this is the one that we like. Okay, so that's it for notes. I'm going to create another video for the examples to not make this so long. Actually, uh, let's do one page and one page. So I'm going to go over these two notes, one and two examples, and then we'll go over the other ones in another video. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Um, so, and actually, and before we move on, no, that's pretty much it. All right, name of this prism. Well, this is a rectangular prism, right? Because it's got a rectangle as a base. Rectangular prism. And it just has height. So the area of the base, easy peasy, that's just 12 times 4, giving me 48 meters squared. Perimeter of the base. Well, remember, perimeter of the base is just, well, 12 times 2, because we have two of them. I guess let's do 2 times 12. So 2 times 12 plus we have two of these sides, so 2 times 4. That gives me 24 plus 8, giving me 32 meters squared, or just meters. Because it's perimeter, right? We're talking about the length, not the area. The height, easy, that's just 9 meters. So therefore, my lateral area, right, is going to be perimeter times height. Perimeter, we have established is 32. Height is 9. So 9 times 32 is 288. And that is lateral area, so meters squared. First answer is right here. Second answer, surface area. Well, my surface area is going to be P perimeter times height plus 2B. Well, perimeter times height we've established is 288. My surface area, my lateral area is 288. Now my base is we've already established is going to be 48, and we have two of them. So plus 2 times 48. 288 plus 2 times 48 ends up being 384. And this is area, so it's meters squared, and we're done. Great, right? So we found our base, we found our lateral area, then we added them together. All right, here we go. Name of this is a triangular prism. Triangular prism. So how do we do this one? Well, how do I know this is a triangular prism? Well, we've got a triangle right here, and then we've got the height. So our height is different this time, right? Um, Again, we got the triangle, we got height here. I know it seems like a base. But it is going to be the height. Now the area for this is slightly different because now we've got essentially two shapes. We've got this triangle and we've got this rectangular shape here, and then it is a rectangle. So let's go ahead and see if we can find it. So the base, and we're going to say the base again, the base is a triangle, right? Because the triangle is just this, a lot of triangles all stacked on top of each other every time. So we have to find our triangle area. So we need to, before we can even start this, we need to find um, the height. Now, the only way that we can find our height is by Pythagorean theorem. Remember, I can tell that this is an isosceles triangle. So because it's an isosceles triangle, if we create an altitude, this is going to be congruent to this. Therefore, both of these are half. So this is 3 meters and this is 3 meters. And I just covered up the 6 just so that it doesn't confuse me in a second. Or it doesn't confuse me. I've got a right triangle right here, 3, and the hypotenuse is 5. So in order to find this height, we have to do the Pythagorean theorem. But we really kind of don't, because you should see that this is going to be a 3, 4, 5 triangle, but I'm going to do it anyway for those who don't like their special triangles. 25 minus 9 is 16. Take the square root, we get h is 4. So we found our height. H is 4. All right. Area of the base, well, now we can go ahead and use this. The base is going to be obviously base times height divided by 2. Base times height is going to be 6 times 4 divided by 2, which ends up being 24 divided by 2, 12 meters squared. Now the perimeter here is, in order for us to find that, we just have to add essentially the three sides together. Really, nothing more difficult than that, right? We're just finding the perimeter of our base here. So since this is an isosceles, I know that this is 5 and 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 6, it's 16 meters. The height of the prism, as I told you earlier, is this, which is congruent to here. So this is 9 meters. And now the lateral area, well, let's find the sides. Remember, if this is my base, then therefore the side is around. And it looks like that this triangular prism has 1, 2, and then 3 rectangles. So let's find the area of 1. That's 5 times 9. And actually, there's an easier way of doing this. Because again, all we have to do is do the perimeter times height. So I don't know why I was making it a little bit more difficult for us. Perimeter, we've already found is 16. And let's multiply by height. Now, why is that the case? Well, because the perimeter is this. So again, think of it as a 3D printed machine where it does layer after layer after layer after layer. And so after enough layers, we get the perimeter, and all we did was, or sorry, the lateral area, and all we did was multiply the perimeter by the height. So 16 times 9 gives us 144 meters squared. And again, the perimeter times height will work on any prism. And then perimeter times height plus 2b would be my complete surface area. So my perimeter, my lateral area is going to be 144. My area of my triangle at the base here was 12, and we have 2 of them, so 2 times 12, which then will give us an answer of 168 meters squared, and then we're done. Cool. So I hope this helped you guys. I'm going to go ahead and make another video with the examples down below. And I hope to see you guys on Thursday.